Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Recall Bob Marley, who's been fighting for our rights. Recall Rodney.
The African continent have had great leaders. Some were celebrated and some were not. Many unsung African heroes have died without Africans recognizing their greatness. Meet our unsung hero of the day. Only on African Eyes Radio, your revolutionary radio.
You better know what you're going to put in your mouth if you want to feel good when you get to some age, like 60 or 70. Me, I'm having a ball because I was not supposed to be alive at 78. He was sick. He was sick. His two brothers died. One at 37, the preacher died at 50. Because he didn't listen to God. That's why. The herbs heal. God made them. What herbs? Not comfrey, not peppermint, not aloe vera, not vitamin C, because the body is not composed of any vitamin C. Remember, the body is made up of what? Minerals. No vitamin C. When I take iron, it goes to my blood. When I take calcium, it goes to my bones. Carbon go to my brain. Chromium go to my pancreas. Zinc go to my prostate gland. When I take vitamin C, what is it going to unite with? Remember what we begin with. Chemical affinity. When I take vitamin C, what is that going to unite with in me? Lionel Paulin, the Canadian, made that, right? Well, I think the boy was smoking something. We didn't know that our food was different from that of a Caucasian. That we didn't know. But you know when it began with me? I went to Finland. I was in Russia in 1970 because I'm mischievous. I had a lot of money. See, I won some money in the Panama lottery, and I stole some with some fellas and didn't know I was a thief. Oh, you could be a thief and not know it. And I was one. It was in New Orleans where these guys told me to drive this car to pick up something with the stuff I picked up was hundreds of thousands of dollars that they had stolen, but they gave me $56,000. So I went to Russia. I board a train in Moscow and wound up in Vladivostok. I was in Finland before I got to Leningrad, and I went to the center of Mr. Paavo Ariola that wrote the book, How to Get Well. Anybody here knows about that book? How to Get Well. Find it. You can buy that book. Direction 2. He states that if you're this is a white man from Finland, this is how kind he is. He said, if your ancestors are European, your body is programmed to digest milk or lactose. But if your ancestors are Africans and Indians, your body is not programmed to digest milk. Oh my God. What did you say? Yes, that's the truth. You see what happened? One day, somebody wanted to make fun of me in a conversation. And I was in Rio de Janeiro one night, and a bunch of fellas, we gathered around, talking about our races, our condition, and our social thing that's happening. And this one person said, when I start talking about my ancestors, he said, I want to remind you that your ancestors didn't even have clothes on. I say, oh my God, that is the God in heaven true. But what you didn't know, Mladenoff, that's his name, Mladenoff, what you didn't say, that my ancestors didn't have any clothes on. But that's only one in the whole line of benchmarks. They didn't have any doctors, they didn't have any hospital, they didn't have any rice and beans, they didn't have any potatoes, they didn't have any cows, no horses, no lamb, no hogs, they didn't have chicken, and they didn't have any coins. They didn't have prostitution, they didn't have alcohol. Yes, my mother didn't have any of that. She was righteous, she was never sinful, and I am her son. So if my mother wasn't sinful, how do you think I feel about me? You think I am? No, I have no sin to repent. I have no sin. I was never sinful. I'm going to mention one man. One man. One man. And I don't know where I have to bring him up, but I have to. This man is named Michael Jackson. Michael sent for me. I went to see him. The boy was in a stupor. He was in a stupor. What you want me to do? Because you know, I am the herbalist. I'm the voodoo doctor. I'm not nobody. He have seen all the millionaire doctors that he paid millions to. I'm the herbalist. Who am I? I say, what you want me to do for this man? We want you to bring his energy back and heal his disease. He's nervous and all that. Well, I'll do that. 2 months later, we're in Hawaii. Michael come in our bedroom to tell us how good he feels. So Michael Jackson saw this recovery. He said, we're going to the Pillsbury farm in Colorado. So we went there, nice farm. I like Aspen. He sent for his son. His son had a tumor on his frontal lobe that was hurting him for 5 years. Omar, his only biological son, came from Norway to Aspen. Michael said, I want you to treat my son. I just came back from Guinea and I brought an herb known as Sia. I put the herb in a bag and I told the boy to inhale, and the boy sneezed 52 times. On the 53rd, the tumor came out at the door, right when he was going out the door. When Michael saw that, Michael then moved us to Orlando. And who did he call? Helga. Who is Helga? That is the boy's mother. Michael Jackson's only biological son, mother, Helga from Norway, Oslo. She today lives in Oslo and she's a dental assistant. She came, she's in a bed, but I didn't know what was going on. She wrapped up during the winter. So I gave her the compounds. Went back next day, and I'm gonna look stupid. I swear I do stupid things sometimes. I go back upstairs to see how the lady is doing that was wrapped up from her head to her foot. I go to the door, the woman, a lady opened the door. I said, lady, but she opened the door, but the door was open. She's sitting on the bed, right. I said, lady, where is the lady that I gave the compounds to last night? She said, what lady? I'm the lady. I said, how you feeling? She said, I'm feeling good. 4 days later, Michael Jackson and my wife and I, and some other folks are talking in the courtyard in Orlando. Hey, come Michael, SEBI, Helga is walking. Helga is walking. My wife looked at me and said, what's wrong with Michael? I don't know. Helga's walking. So, that's something normal. He said, no. She wasn't walking for 5 years. She came in a wheelchair from Norway. I Then Helga came and hugged me with tears coming down my shoulders and saying, I had not seen my period in 5 years. It's down today. Wait, Michael Jackson saw himself, his son, and the son mother. One more. His secretary, Grace Rwanda. She had lupus for 9 years, in pain for 9 years. She took the compound. 2 days later, no more pain and she was sleeping. 2 months later, no more lupus. Wait, one more. Michael saw a man that worked at the Pillsbury farm in Aspen, Colorado, knelt in front of Michael and said, I thank you, Michael. I thank you for coming to Aspen. We were in the dining room. Michael said, why are you kneeling in front of me telling me this? Because you brought Dr. SEBI. I was about to blow my brains out and the brains of my wife and my 2 boys because the doctor had detected me with a debilitating disease that I would not live in 2 months, and I didn't want to leave my wife and my children suffering. But after Dr. SEBI gave me these compounds, I knew I'm not going to die. How did all this happen? I didn't want to be a healer. I wanted to be like John Coltrane. I knew Coltrane. In fact, I knew his wife well, Naima, because she lived in Algiers, in New Orleans. And when Coltrane used to come to town, because I live in New Orleans, we used to go hear him because A, he was the man that was kicking, you know, his music. He was the one that was resonating with us. Because I am 78 years of age. I am talking about 1955, 54. I'm talking about Miles Davis and Cannonball. A group that you guys may not know of because I'm an old man now. I want to be a musician. I didn't want to be a healer. No, I didn't want to be any healer. I want to be a musician. So how did I turn out to be this? And I didn't want to be this because the public of the world expect a healer to be very like, love is like a carburetor. It should flow. Well, I'm not that individual. I'm a different kind of animal. Different altogether. Not better, not worse than anybody, just different. So I learned that yes, God worked all the time. Why? Because everything God made is electrical. Every fruit God made is electrical. Every fruit that man made, not so. Man does not have a laboratory to titrate, to bring together chemicals and minerals to bring life. No, 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 no. Behave yourself.
That was our unsung hero of the day. Meet me again next time as I'll bring to you another unsung hero of the day. Until then, stay tuned to African Eyes Radio, your revolutionary radio.
Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Let's recall some great men who's been fighting for our rights. Recall Bob Marley, who's been fighting for our rights. Recall Rodney Price, he's been fighting for our rights. Recall Burning Spear, recall Culture Joseph Phil, recall Miss Lou Fitzroy, they've been fighting for our rights. Recall them. Recall them. Let's recall some.